In the early 1800s, in a quiet New England village called Ash Hollow, there lived an old widow named Margaret Blackwood. She was a reclusive woman who rarely spoke to anyone, always dressed in black, and lived alone in a crumbling cottage at the edge of the dense forest. The townsfolk whispered that she was a witch, a woman who had made a pact with the devil after her husband and child died under mysterious circumstances. One autumn evening, a group of mischievous young men decided to test the legend. They crept toward Widow Blackwood's house under the cover of darkness, determined to catch a glimpse of her supposed witchcraft. As they peered through the cracked window, they saw her sitting at a candlelit table, whispering to a shadowy figure that wasn't there. The moment one of them gasped, the candle flickered wildly, and the air around them turned ice-cold. Terrified, they ran back to the village. The next morning, one of the boys, James Turner, was found dead in his bed, his face frozen in terror. His hands were clutching his throat as if something unseen had strangled him in the night. The villagers were horrified, and suspicion fell on Widow Blackwood. A group of men, armed with torches and pitchforks, stormed into her home that night, demanding she confess. But the old woman simply smiled and uttered a chilling phrase. "You cannot kill what death itself protects." The men dragged her into the woods, where they tied her to a tree and set it ablaze. As the flames consumed her, she did not scream, instead, she laughed, a haunting sound that echoed through the night. But as the fire died down, her body was gone. Only the ropes remained, unburned and still tied to the tree. From that night forward, Ash Hollow was never the same. Strange whispers filled the woods after dark, and those who ventured too close to Blackwood's old home would feel unseen hands brush against their skin. Each year, on the anniversary of her death, another villager would be found dead, face frozen in horror, hands clutched at their throat, just like James Turner. To this day, the land where her house once stood remains untouched. No one dares to build there, for fear that Widow Blackwood still lingers in the shadows, waiting for her revenge.